You are listening to Thank Me for My Cervix, a podcast where we talk about all things mental health with a focus in the veteran and the military community. I'm your host, Marine Corps veteran Shawna Marie, and today's guest is, I'm super excited to have her on. She is super interesting, not only, so we've actually never met in person, but we are from the same general area, and for the timing, when I was home to visit this last time, we were supposed to meet up, but we didn't get the chance to because she was in the middle of getting ready for her PCS to Germany, which we're going to talk quite a bit about today. And I was also visiting my mom and taking care of some things, so the timing just didn't line up. So as soon as she comes on, we're going to go through a set of questions that we've had. I had a couple of questions sent in from you. Some of my listeners had some questions that they wanted me to ask. So as soon as she hops on, we will get her going. I'm going to get my other phone. Let me see. See, this is why I have two phones. No, I have two phones for a lot of reasons. My different personalities have different phones. I'm just kidding. That's not true. Ready for you on Thank Me for My Cervix. Welcome in. We're just waiting for our guest right now. She's going to be joining us. Her name is Becky. She is an Army. She's active duty Army. She's still in. There she is! Yay! Okay, let me get her on here. It always takes a minute. It takes forever. And then it will lag in the beginning, and I'm going to be talking, and it's going to be skipping.
Hi, babe.
I am so excited that you're taking the time to come talk to me today.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for this. I'm very
I know.
excited.
I love that it's kind of an opportunity to sit down and we're going to talk about your life experiences and get to know you, and I'm just so excited. I'm
Dude, me
so
too.
bummed because we're kind of both from the general same area, right? We don't know each other. We've never met
Yeah,
in person.
yeah, I
We
know.
I know, but we almost had the opportunity to, but it just did not line up right. I'm so sad. But being from the same area, I'm sure the opportunity will come up again.
It definitely will. And the fact that, like, you travel a lot, I travel a lot, like, it's just going to end up happening at some point.
And look, I
So,
have to come to where you are now. So tell me a little bit about where you are now.
okay, so I am in Wiesbaden. So Wiesbaden, Germany. So we're about like 15, 20 minutes from Frankfurt. So it's like one of the bigger airports for Germany, or bigger cities, I guess, too. Um, but yeah, I've only been here for like less than a week,
I
and
know.
so far so good. I will say that it's freezing out here.
It's cold?
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Okay, like
expecting
it is.
that.
It is so cold right now. Like that's why like I haven't been able to like even really like explore a lot because the cold and the wind especially has just like I get bundled up and everything. I know about wearing layers. Like obviously, I just came from Pittsburgh, but still like it
Pittsburgh was
was
a little bit warm when I went there still though. Like that time frame that we were there, you can see my cat
I know, little kitty butt.
little kid. I don't know why. Is there snow?
Not yet, but we were just talking. I'm with some of my friends right now. We had like a movie night, but like we were talking about we're supposed to get like 7 to 8 inches on Tuesday.
I know that the New York area is getting pounded right now.
Hmm.
Or yesterday they were because they moved all the football games from the Northeast to Monday because they got
Yeah,
so wrecked. And I think the New York team is like paying people to come shovel snow out of the stadium so they can play.
yeah. No, I saw that. Like it was for because Pittsburgh. I was trying to do the time difference. There we go, boy.
This is my
So
mom's.
I was trying
I
to.
got paint on it. Don't tell her.
Oh
She's
no.
gonna watch this live later and be like, "Shut up, Marie."
Oh, sorry. The surprise.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, no, so the game was supposed to be today. So I was already like, okay, the game's at 1. That means like it'll be 6, 7 o'clock or whatever here. So I can watch it, blah blah. I was so excited. And then I saw that they moved it to tomorrow and that yeah, Buffalo was trying to get people out there to like get the snow off the field. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, if I could volunteer.
If that game was still on, we would have done this live at like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock my time.
Right.
So that way at 1 o'clock we could go watch the game.
Would be like, we're gonna have to do this another time. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, for real. So tell me a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, and why you chose the army.
Okay. So, I was born at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Well, now it's Fort Liberty. But yeah, so I was born in Fort Bragg,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and yeah, and both my parents were in the army. So like that's kind of how I was born there, and then we just bounced around a lot. But honestly, like I got to see what the army is like and the benefits of it. And so when I graduated high school, I went to college, but just for like a year and a half. It like I did the first year, it was a military school, and like it didn't feel good for me at that time. And so my mom was like, "Hey, give it another chance, whatever. That was your freshman year, blah blah blah." So I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot. And by my sophomore year, like I was like, this isn't for me.
No.
So that's kind of how I figured that out. And then so I think it was like the second semester, what would have been my second semester, I I just was like, I was going to community college. I was a nanny for three beautiful boys, and I love them so much. But I was still feeling like, dude, like even my community college, like I'm still not happy. The only things that I did like about college was the army stuff, like doing the army, like, camping or, camping in the field and whatever else. And so I told my parents that I was like, hey, I think I want to join the army. And so my dad was like, he was so excited. He was like, yes. He's like, that sounds perfect. I think that's what you need and everything. So he went with me to the recruiter office. And I just remember him being like, he was so focused. I was just there just to join the army. I thought I was ready to go like that day. And they're like, no, there's steps to
There's
this.
a
So
whole process.
there's a whole process. So yeah, so I think really was always in my mind that I was gonna go army. Your parents came up through all the ranks and
Yeah, you
stuff.
grew up
So
through it and you kind of get accustomed to that lifestyle as a kid. And I think
right.
that's something to talk about too that I think a lot of people maybe don't talk about is like you're growing up in that atmosphere and now you're older and who no one wants to sit in a classroom. I don't really know many people who are like, yes, I want to sit and get lectured about something that may or may not have any relevance to me in my future.
Yeah, it just was like it was so weird because I just nothing seemed aligned. You know what I mean? But then once I joined the army, it was like, okay, like I'm happy here. I'm happy doing this and that. I'm happy with these people and everything. Like I'm excited about going to airborne school. Like I'm excited to go back to Fort Bragg, and like I just felt like I was on the right path at that point.
I love that. So where is the army? I don't know much about army, so I was a
Oh yeah,
Marine. So
yeah, I remember.
So we're gonna have to. You're gonna be teaching me a little bit because I really
Oh,
don't know. I
okay.
knew right away I didn't want to do army because I had a stepbrother in the army, and he just talked so much shit. And honestly, what was like the ultimate factor in me picking Marines over army was he was like, "You can't do the Marines; it's too hard." And I was like,
Challenge
"Yeah."
accepted.
So did Marines. And anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be learning a little bit about the army as we do this. So where is your like boot camp? And tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so this is actually fun because obviously, I just got done with recruiting. So now I feel like I'm doing like an army interview for somebody. Um, so we have basic trainings at Fort Sill. And you know what? I'm going to keep using their old names because I haven't memorized their new names yet. But like
That's fine.
Fort
I don't
Sill.
know the difference anyway. So the only people who would yell at you is other army people. And luckily, most of the people who are on here are Marines anyway. So we don't
Okay.
fucking know. We don't.
Perfect. I love that. So yeah, so Fort Sill, Oklahoma, there's Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, which is where I ended up going, and then there's Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh,
And
I didn't
so
even know that. You guys have more than one location?
Yeah.
We have two, and it's just like you are going to one or the other.
One or the
I didn't
other.
know that. I thought the Army is significantly larger than the Marines, and I don't think about that.
Okay, that's so, oh, this is actually very interesting to hear about then. I like that to like learn something new.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I went to Jackson. I did it throughout the summer of 2013 and it was a good time. I will say that like I learned that I am not good with the heat. I was like, we were doing like our, like the combat life saving like lanes or whatever, like, and we were supposed to get graded that day, I think. And I'm big on drinking water, but for some reason that day, that summer, that heat level, whatever, it took me out, dude. I remember I didn't even feel like eating lunch, so that's another sign, you know what
yeah.
I mean? And then, so I just remember that like I was like by a tree and I fell asleep and they put like the ice sheets on me and shit
Oh,
and they like they had to take my like top off and everything, but I still had the t-shirt underneath, but like I had the ice sheets and shit and they made me like eat an apple and drink a bunch of water and they were like, hey, like we'll take you to the hospital, but if you don't finish this lane, you can't get graded and then you can't graduate, essentially. And I was like, well, I have to graduate, blah, blah, blah. So I remember that they were timing us, and I think our like team or whatever did it the fastest and like with like like less errors than anybody else or something. And I remember like just feeling so accomplished. And then sure enough, they were like, "Okay, we can take you to the hospital now." I was like, "Thank God!" And that IV was top tier.
that's so funny.
So,
Our experiences were polar opposite because I learned in boot camp, like my vivid memories was that it was freezing. I remember being like, it was still dark outside, and I was a spoiled little bitch princess before the Marines. That's not a joke. I was a fucking. It's crazy how different of a person I am. So like waking up early to run or be out in the cold was not something that I had ever done, ever. And so we're
mhm.
in Paris Island, South Carolina, and it's early as fuck. I don't even know how early. And I just know that we only had hoodies. Like you could only allowed to wear a certain amount. Everyone's like, oh, I'd rather be cold than hot because you can just keep layering on. Not
Okay.
in the Marine Corps, my friend. No, 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 no. You have a certain amount of layers, and once you're wearing all those layers, that's how warm you're gonna
Yeah.
be. And I was the coldest that I could ever be there, and it wasn't even that cold, honestly. It was South Carolina, so like what? It was probably like maybe 30.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Carolinas, they do get cold. I will say that. And I
The
granted I
mornings
haven't
is the
been,
peak where it's
yeah,
freezing.
I haven't been to y'all's area before, so I don't know, but I just remember like, being in North Carolina and, kind of being like, okay, like at least this isn't like the cold in Colorado or, Germany or something. So
What do
yeah.
you know the temperature there right now?
Uh, no, I don't. Like when I checked for yesterday, or because my birthday was the day before or whatever, Friday. So I don't even know what day it is. So Friday was my birthday, so
Where
I
am I?
definitely like I definitely checked I definitely checked the weather for that day and it was like 30 degrees and I was like cool in the middle of the day. So it only dropped when
Oh,
we were going to
that was
dinner
nice
and stuff like
down here.
that. So I just remember being like, okay, I definitely can't have open-toed shoes. This ain't it.
Okay, I wait. I know my for the comment that someone just commented. I know that it's 50 today. Today's a
Yeah.
beautiful day. Beautiful. We are blessed. It is
Hmm.
beautiful. Especially because New York is getting rocked with a snowstorm. I am grateful.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I say that like hesitantly. I'm excited to see what the snow is going to bring on Tuesday and Wednesday here. So,
I know. I know. You'll have to keep in touch with me so that you can tell me everything that is.
oh yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, so Army's kind of instilled in you.
Yeah,
How long have you been in the Army now?
I just hit 10 years in May.
Are you a lifer?
Yeah, they got me, dude. So,
So do you
uh,
enjoy it? like, do you genuinely enjoy being in the Army? Obviously, every job has its bad, obviously.
Yeah. That's what I tell people. Like, when I was like doing the recruiting stuff, I was like, dude, like, no job for the most part is not going to bring you like a bad day. You're never not going to be frustrated or whatever. So I've definitely had those moments and everything, but like, I love the Army. I love my job. Recruiting was hard, and for me, I guess, just because of my area or whatever excuse I want to come up with.
Oh,
But
Marie,
it was a little it was a little difficult. I mean, we see the news reports, but it doesn't matter. Essentially, I'm in it for life. I'm
recruiting
back.
is something that I do like to talk about because so my baby daddy was a recruiter in the Marine Corps,
Mhm.
and I'm sure the Marine Corps recruiter experience and the Army recruiter experience is vastly different
Mhm.
because I've experienced firsthand the mental toll that recruiting takes on Marines, and I'm sure Army has its own too. But we would speak to the Army recruiters, and it was just it was different. It was different.
Yeah. I think it definitely also depends on like the area that you're
Yeah,
in. That plays such a role in everything. But with it, I've came to learn to love Pittsburgh and
right.
everything, and like just be grateful for that experience and just to like do something different
So
and
you
everything.
weren't
Like,
from Pittsburgh, but they sent you to Pittsburgh for
yeah.
recruiting.
Yeah, it's so when I first found out that I was going to recruiting, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna figure out how I can stay in Florida or be near Florida and everything because my mom was there. And like I won't ever tell her this, but I do like love her so much that I
You
did
won't tell
want to
your mom that you left.
listen. No, I do tell her, but I just know that she's gonna be like, oh, and like want to just like live with me, and we can't do that.
Oh, dude,
So.
I would murder somebody. Not true. That's not true. In case someone dies around me, but I would love for my mom to live with me. Seriously. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sure there would be times where I would want to like smother in her sleep or something, but I would never do it.
yeah. No, I do. I definitely do love my mom, and that's why I wanted to be like near that
Absolutely.
area, and also it was just like my happy place and stuff, and it just made
Florida's the
sense.
shit. Florida is
It's
still the shit.
right. So I just remember like working my ass off, trying to talk to anybody I could and everything, and I was like, dude, I'll even go to like Alabama. Like I love
Somewhere
Alabama too. Like I'll go
near
there
somewhere
and
near home.
everything.
That's like the positive part of recruiting is that you get to go to either where there's people that you know so that you can kind of have a foot in the recruiting world, or you get to go back home, like where you're from. Either way.
You would definitely think that. And I just remember like the day before graduation or 2 days before that, like the lady who cut our orders and stuff, she was like, so we're gonna keep you on the East Coast. That's how she brought it up. I was like, okay. Like in my head, I'm like, Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, or something. And then she was like, yeah, you're gonna go to Monroeville. And I was like, oh, Monroeville, Alabama. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
in my
I think
Delulu
too.
era. And then she's like, no, Monroeville is like outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I was like, you told me the East Coast, babe. Like, and she was like, yeah. And she was like, and if you're concerned about your mom and everything, like, it's only a 15-hour drive.
Yeah, just a
I
casual
was
15-hour
so,
drive.
I was so upset, bro. I was like,
I
okay.
I cannot imagine. I would be upset. I'm from there, and I would be upset. I would be like, no, we're
So.
figuring something else out.
For sure, like when I was within that first 6 months, I think even to the first year, I was like, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I literally probably went on vacation so much just to go back home to Florida. I was like, y'all aren't gonna, I was being a brat. Let's just, yeah.
But you
And
said you
so,
grew to love the area, right? After being there for a
yes.
while.
Yeah, because then you get your friends. Then you get to have your own like places that you call your own and stuff like, oh, this is where I go to get, this coffee or whatever.
And
Um And
once
then
you
you have
start meeting people, more people in the area, they introduce you to these places that you probably wouldn't have normally found. So it makes
yeah.
you grow interest more in learning the area. So I can
And
really appreciate that.
just like learning the history and stuff because they're from that area and everything. So like learning a true Pittsburgh accent. That was interesting.
I
And
have
so
little hints of it still, because I did grow up. I've grown up all
mhm,
over, and I have such a crazy accent because of it.
mhm.
I my Cali girl accent has usually takes over the most. I get told all the time that I sound like a Cali girl, but I still randomly I'll say stuff, and my mom will be like, "There's the Pennsylvania."
Like I remember that somebody said something here about like, oh yeah, we want to take you downtown to go shopping so you can see the area, whatever. And in my head, I was just like downtown, like I couldn't.
It means such different things in such different places
Yeah,
too. It's like downtown Pittsburgh's. I, it's nice. It is
it's
nice.
nice.
It has some
Yeah,
really nice parts. You just have to know where to go. Like the incline area, I love
yeah.
that area.
It's so much fun. I love taking people up there and stuff, and then like getting a drink or getting like appetizers somewhere with a view, and it's like really cute and
I miss
everything. But
there's just so many people and like successful people in that area. And I don't know if that's just because I grew up there, so I know more people who are like
hmm
upcoming. But I feel like I have if I were to move anywhere purely based on my connections, Pittsburgh's such a great area to do
yeah.
that, because you have that city, but you also have it's very country. It's underrated country. Hey,
Sorry. I see my friend Natalie like doing the wave. I'm like,
I
no, this is
still go
awesome.
on vacation to go away from recruiting, even though
Back
I'm
home.
back home.
Oh, hell yeah, Anita. Dude, this is awesome. I love
I
this.
know.
But yeah, so when I got my orders in like August, I think, for Germany, um I remember that they like the brigade or whatever was very like nonchalant. They were just like, "Yeah, but like your contract that you have now, it's going to end in the middle of your time in Germany, so you have to re-up." And they're like, "We'll just send you the contract right now. You'll just email it back to us signed and blah blah blah." I was like, dude, this is like my in-depth one. Like this is locking me in, and y'all are just like, just send it when you have a chance.
Sign the paper, just no
I
message. Give
was
it
like,
back.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay. And so the people that I was with, they were super nice because I was on a TDY at that time. So I wasn't even with like my like home team. But like they were super awesome about it. They were like, congratulations. And they were trying to like plan because we were at Fort Meade, Maryland when I got the news about that. And so they were like, we should do your reenlistment like at the White House or at the Pentagon or blah blah blah. And I was like, yo, this is I don't think like they're gonna let
You
little
have no
fucking
say. You're just along for the ride at this point. You're just hanging out.
yeah, and they're like maybe General Millie can come. I was like, okay, maybe we could just like start with like a lunch or something.
That's so cute.
But yeah, so they did. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm locked in for 10 more
So
years.
what is your job? What are you doing in Germany now?
Okay,
Because you're not recruiting anymore,
right,
obviously.
yeah, yeah. So my original job and what I'm doing now is I'm a 35 Fox, which is an all source intelligence analyst. So, oh.
So,
So like I can't talk about it.
I
um
love that answer. I love that so much. Damn,
no,
so
so I
you're
mean
that bitch.
I just right now I'm in the in processing phase. They basically told me like you're not gonna actually work till the end of the month. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I am but so I'm excited to see what this mission is gonna look like for me. But
Yeah.
for the most part, like we just sit at our little computers and like talk to people and try to get information and that way we can put it in a nice little product and then we can like tell other people about it and
Okay.
and hopefully
Professional
people
gossiper almost.
uh, I love that. I am going to hold on to that title from now on but put like the Latina twist to it and be like a professional chismosa and
I
because I
love
think
that.
I think that's like better than being like, oh yeah, I'm an intel analyst. Like, no, I'm a professional chismosa. Um,
Love that. That's so funny. So, you've only been in Germany for a week. What
yeah.
are a few? So, this was a question that was messaged to
Hmm.
me. It said, I sent it to you. Oh yeah, your top five to dos while you're in
Okay, well,
Germany
I'm in Germany.
or in the area. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, because
Top
I was
five.
I was like, for some reason I was thinking like the 5 countries that I would want to visit or cities or
We can
whatever.
do that too. Whichever.
So, fun fact, I actually used to live in Germany for like 9 years. So I did like middle school and high school out here, but in Stuttgart. So,
I know
uh,
absolutely nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing about Germany at all whatsoever. My
okay.
sister went there once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she took Germany for a long time and can like kind of speak it.
Uh-huh.
Which was the second question that was asked was how much German can you speak now? But if you've lived there,
I am not a professional by any means. I know kind of just like the basics just to get around or whatever, or I used to, and I definitely need to practice now. But like before, I was like on a German soccer team and my coach didn't really like know English. So like I just had to pick up on when that man was yelling at me, remember the word, and then try to do that. So like the soccer terms, I have yeah, I'm stuck with those and I'll do it. Like I'll whisper it to myself when we're watching soccer games or whatever. I'm like, Eke, Eke, like,
I love
which is
that. How many different languages can you speak?
I mean, not, what is it like?
Fluently?
Uh,
Like super
not fluently, but like, just German and Spanish.
in English.
Yeah.
That's three
Oh
good.
yeah, in English.
That's
Hmm.
three.
So that's three.
I
I'm
can
gonna.
like pick up words pretty fast. I took Spanish for 4 years and I my brain just does not work in the way that it does. Like if someone's speaking to me in Spanish, I can
Mhm.
understand it. Like I'm like, oh, I know what they're
Oh,
saying. But
oh,
then, yeah, but then they're like waiting for a response, and I'm like, oh, no,
oh, yeah, yeah,
I don't know what you want me to say back.
yeah. You're like end up doing like a charades of like, yeah, like the bill.
Take my money.
Take my money. Um, but yeah, so okay, 5 things that I would want to do, or I don't know. So in Germany, okay, here's the thing. When I lived in Stuttgart, there was like a place and they would bring like the Broadway shows. And like so there was Mamma Mia, Wicked came, Phantom of the Opera, like all these
I would
like
love that.
I would love that. And I don't know why, because I was a theater kid for a little bit. And I don't know why my parents never took me to that. And it wasn't until I went to Pittsburgh that I saw my first like Broadway show. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to miss out on that again. Like, I need to go. I'll find shows. I'll go wherever I have to go. So that'll be one. Two is my team my team from Stuttgart, like the national team or like the big city team is VfB Stuttgart. And so to watch them play again would be really,
I would
nostalgic
love
for
that.
me.
Yeah.
So
Aww.
so like watching them play and then now that I know that like the NFL teams like come out here for like their Euro tour or whatever, to see an NFL game in Germany, that would be
I know.
amazing. So so we'll see how that goes.
Three, right? You did
That's
two.
3. And then this one will be out of country, but I really want to go back to London. We went when I was like maybe 12, I think, and I just don't remember a lot of it. Like I remember the bigger, like Big Ben and the uh that fucking building where the Queen is at and
I
stuff.
oh
Buckingham Palace. There we go, Buckingham
oh.
Palace. So, um So yeah, like I would just want to go back to London and just enjoy it and absorb all of that because there's so much history, there's so much art and like culture and everything that I would love to do that. And then for like a funsy thing, um, in London, there's like this bar that is ABBA themed.
Ooh.
Girl, I just want to go there so bad. I they like dance on the tables and do shows and
That sounds like
stuff, and it's just
so
all
much fun.
I'm
Have you ever been to
very
Coyote Ugly in Florida?
I did, yeah.
I love Coyote Uglies. I don't know why. I think I grew up watching that movie.
Yeah.
Like my mom and I sit down like every Friday and watch that movie basically.
Yeah.
And that is such a fun place. Like ever, it's just like I like tell people who go to Florida they have to go there.
Hmm.
Um. Okay, I had a question that I thought of while you were
Oh,
talking,
okay.
but now it's gone.
Oh no.
I didn't want to interrupt you because what you were saying was so interesting, and I was like, okay, yeah, note it. And then we talked about Coyote Ugly. My brain
Oh
goes so fast that it's not
shit.
gonna. Oh, it wasn't a question. It was just to add on. What
Mm.
I was saying is, there's a lot of places that I've been that I wish I would have had the mental I could like mental I don't know where I wish I would have known take this in like remember this
Hmm.
explore it enjoy it because I feel like growing up I don't know my mentality was just so different that I missed out on such cool things because I just didn't I don't know do you know what I
Oh yeah,
mean
no, I completely get that. Sometimes I feel that way too, and especially like looking back, people are talking about like, what was your favorite country to go to or whatever. I'm like, I I remember that I loved this city or whatever, and they're like, really? Like, what did you do? And I'm like, I had a good
I ate
time. That's what I did.
food probably mostly it's probably the best parts that I enjoyed was the food
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna take this time to absorb everything. And so far, like the friends that I already had here, like we've just known each other for a while. Um, that we're already kind of being like, okay, maybe we should go here, maybe we should do this. And my friends in the States are already looking at tickets to come up and visit too.
Aww.
So I'm like, okay, but when you come here, we're gonna go to Portugal. Like we're gonna go here, that
You're
like
like I
so.
still have to work so let's go but let's go too.
But we're also going. So.
So are you happy? Would you say that you're happy with how your everything is going right now?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I am happy. I did cry like leaving Pittsburgh because I was
Oh,
like, holy shit, like I told everybody else, I was like, this is a chapter that I will never have again.
yep.
Like even if I did come back to Pittsburgh, because I did keep my house out there, like even if I did come back, like it won't be the same. You know what I mean?
It'll be
Like
under
so.
circumstances probably.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I did take my time to just acknowledge that and just share, appreciate that moment, but I definitely am happy. I can see why people talk about like having like the sad lamps or whatever those are called because dude, these past couple of days it's just cloudy. It's just
Yeah.
gray and this was a 4-day weekend for us and like yeah we got to go out for my birthday which was very nice and stuff but like we can't even have a time to like go walk at the park or go do this because you are just wanting to go inside you don't even want to be out and everything so that will definitely take some time to get used to for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm grateful that you do already have friends there because I feel like that's gonna ease the transition quite a bit because it would be interesting to speak to somebody who doesn't know anyone out there,
Yeah.
and that you know what I mean. I'm sure with the army being there, you may know somebody, just because everyone kind of knows each other in each of the branches. But moving somewhere where you didn't know anybody would be such a shock. But I'm grateful that that was kind of a hardship taken out of that for you.
Yeah, and I will say too, like I know that there are still like faults or whatever, but like essentially we have like that sponsorship program. I don't know if the Marines have the same thing, but like I had a sponsor like months before, like once I got my orders and stuff, like on our like Army career tracker thing, I had a girl already like connect with me that's here. And so she was like, "Hey, like, my name is so and so, and I'm here to help you with your transition to come here and everything."
Oh,
So she took care of so much for me. And I know that not everybody gets really lucky with somebody like that, but like she got me my mailing address. She got me the keys to my apartment and was able to like show me like this is what your room looks like so that way you know what you should bring or
that is
can't
so
bring.
awesome. I had no idea they had something like that.
Yeah, and so like and then so she's just been great and like, would be like, "Do you need me to take you to the PX or do you want to go to the commissary?" And like because she knows I don't have a car out here yet.
Yeah. Are
So
you gonna get a car? How long are you there for?
I'm here for 3 years.
Wow.
So I shipped my car in December. So like mid-December, I drove it to Baltimore to like the vehicle processing center, and then they're supposed to ship it out from there. And so they gave me like the maximum date or whatever, like the no later than date is like February 20th.
Okay.
So I'm just like, I'll take the bus if I have to. It would be nicer if it was a little bit warmer to take the bus. So,
That's
but
really awesome. I mean, I've heard of things doing that, but I guess I never actually spoke to anybody that had done something like that. So that's very interesting. Did you see
yeah,
that comment? Girl, you got this. When I lived in Washington, I felt the same for a bit, but I def
I,
got out of there hiking and snow thing.
oh
And
my gosh, I don't know if like the comments like they stopped for me.
oh no,
Dang it! I don't know how to refresh it either. Well,
it's
poop.
it set me up to enjoy Germany and Colorado. Smiley face.
I'm gonna try to like. I'm trying to like write a comment so that way maybe it'll refresh, but it's not. So it's whatever. You're gonna have to just tell me
Okay,
then
yeah.
what
When we
she
get
said.
questions, I will read them off to you. I'll make sure.
Okay.
This doesn't
Um.
tell you who says it though. That's okay.
Okay.
Um, and then what were we talking about?
That I had a sponsor when I got here
Oh
and
yes, yes,
everything.
yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I have such bad. No, I
Okay.
love that. I have no idea. Testing. She tagged you and then said testing.
Dude.
I'm sad that you can't see that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's, can you, what's at the bottom of your
It's
screen? Sorry guys.
it just says comment and then the little question mark and then like a forwarding thing.
Um, there's not like three signs?
Uh, no, at the very bottom, no, it just says comment, a little bubble with a question mark. Let me just
I
do.
hate that. I will. I'm sorry, guys. She can't see the questions. Any questions that you ask, I'll make sure to read out loud.
Yeah. Well, shoot.
And
Dang.
it's
Okay.
from, I don't want to pronounce her name wrong. Anita, Go
Okay.
Army. Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay? It's her.
Okay.
She was the one asking the questions.
Cool.
And she's the one that said, "Girl, you got this." When I lived in Washington, I felt the same for a bit, but I definitely got out there hiking and snow things and enjoyed it so much, even in the gloominess. It
Okay.
it set me up to enjoy Germany and Colorado. Smiley.
Aw, that's sweet.
I know. Um,
So yeah, it's just gonna take a minute.
do your family have the means to come visit you?
Um, yes,
Okay.
but like, for the most part, a lot of my family, majority of my family is a lot older. And so like I just know that it might just be easier if when I come back to the States or something
Yeah.
to just see them then. But I know like for a couple of my cousins, they were talking about coming up and stuff. So that would be awesome.
So where
And my
do you
mom.
stay?
So I am in like it's very weird because I want to say like an on post housing, but we're not on an actual base. Like German, like local people can just like walk around and stuff, but
Oh.
it's military housing. There's no like ID card or anything like
Okay.
that for
No gate or anything.
no gate. And so like but it's military housing and they are apartments. So I do have a roommate and she's really nice. Like, shout out to her, because she's also was like, hey, like, any of my stuff, you can eat it, you can, like, use the dishes. If you want to cook something, feel free. Like, if you need, like, shower stuff, like, I have a bunch here. And I was like, I was like, thank
That is
you so
so
much.
nice. I love that.
Yeah.
I would be the same exact way. I'm such a like use whatever you need.
Yeah, and I think it just helps because, like, especially when you're, like, older, you can be that way. I felt like when I was younger, girls are just fucking mean. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just got here, and
I
you know what I
feel
mean?
like I was that way too. I not until I was older and more mature. Now I'm like the girl to the max.
Hmm.
Like that's kind of how we met. We used to reach out to each other.
Yeah.
If someone if someone is taking the time and energy to comment my stuff, like my stuff, talk to me, I will always do my best to return that 100%. Not just for girls, but I particularly like to stand up for other women because it's a little bit harder
Mhm.
for us. I'm sorry if that's gonna piss people off, but it is women to boost women up. It's harder than it is to boost men up.
Yeah. I just and granted, I don't know what they're, you know what I mean? I just feel like they can just, like, easily, like, like, buddy with people. I'm not saying that is the truth, but that's what I perceive it to
I
be. Like,
know.
they can just be like, hey man, like, they have, like, video games in the gym and sports, like, a lot of the things that can connect them. And I just feel like, thankfully, I haven't experienced this lately, but I do know of some stories of women just, like, gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, like, it is not that serious, dude. Like, so
No, I have girlfriends who I have been friends with, and we were friends before they got taken off, and they've done all this successful stuff. And I've like reached out for collabs just to be like, hey, like whatever. And now they're too good to talk to me, and I'm like, okay. My thing is like I'm doing this for the purpose of getting other voices out there. Like
mhm.
I'm doing that. Candy connected me and Becky. Candy connected me and Becky. R. Snyder said Candy connected me and Becky.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love you so much. I remember that, like, it was like I don't know, I think I had just, like, got into that office with Rachel is her name. And like, we haven't had a moment to, like, connect or, like, bond yet. And she was sitting behind me, and I just remember that I, like, turned around. I was like, I'm gonna go get candy. Do you want anything? And she was like, yes.
Yeah,
And from there, it was like, I just, like, you gave her, like, a Snickers or a Twix or something. And I just, like, from there, I was like, you're mine now.
I love
Like,
that. I love that. I will obnoxiously smile and stare at other women until they make eye contact with me to let them know that if they do look at me later and I have a bitch face, that's my normal face.
mm.
Um, so that way when we first make eye contact, I'm not just like I'm like
My mom always has to tell me that. She's like, Becky, you have grumpy cat face right now. Because my face is just relaxed. I'm just looking. And in my head, I could be like, that girl is
I
so pretty and blah, blah, blah. Like,
know.
oh, I wonder where she got those jeans or something.
Like
But I'm sure that if she
that
saw
ass.
me, she would be like, what the fuck is this girl looking at?
I'm looking at him like, but I'm doing that because I'm like, she got a fatty. Damn.
You're just,
But I look like I'm being the most judgmental
just
bitch
like the
ever. So I
worst
have to make
faces.
eye
Like,
contact and smile if possible first.
oh my God, I'm glad that we're all on the same page about
I
this.
know. And I'm glad like because the more we talk about it, the more I feel like other women are kind of picking up on
Yeah.
it, and we're like, yeah, look, we're boosting each other up all the time now. That's all we're doing.
I just have to, like, actually, I'm trying to force myself to just tell people while they're with me or whatever, or, like, while I'm in that moment, I just am like, I like your pants or
Me too.
whatever, like, so that way one, they know that that is where my head was at. And then two, maybe that just
Yeah.
brightens up their day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just
Dude,
makes them
if I
feel
put
like,
money in pants and someone compliments my pants, like, man, that was worth the $20. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you like my pants.
Do you want to get in there? No? Oh, okay, my bad. My
Oh wait,
bad.
that's not where this is going.
Oh, sweet
Yeah,
Lanta.
I do like how much it is more common. Well, especially I feel like military women. We're always so supportive of other women because we know the personal struggle of what it's like being in a male dominant area. And this is not like I'm not trying to talk shit on men because I do feel like the generation of men around us are much more
Yeah.
supportive, much more. It's growth with both.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't want that to go unrecognized.
Oh, good. I love that.
Yeah,
Because
because I feel like well, because we'll talk a little bit about mental health as well before we
okay.
go. Because I feel like in the female world, we're so pro mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much mothers, which is its own discussion, but um, we can be more open about our feelings and it's not bypassed. Whereas I do feel like men get the kind of underscore of that, where they really don't want to talk about their emotions or feelings because it's considered weak, and they don't get the same experiences and choices that women get in that aspect.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, if we're going to talk about it later, then I'll just hold off until we do. But I feel so bad talking to like my guy friends and just getting their experiences or
Oh, let's talk about mental health now. Go ahead. We can talk all about
okay,
it now.
oh, okay. It's just like I just feel bad because they do feel alone. They do feel like I don't know if it's ostracized or whatever, but I mean like they it's just like the hard discussions need to be had, and we need to like continue to like support them so that way even if they don't feel it within their own community, they're at least they know that you're not alone. You have all these nurturing, loving women that would love to fucking make sure that you are still here
Yeah,
tomorrow.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
um, and I'm also happy to see like my other guy friends who also see it in their own community to be like, I'm not going to be part of the problem. I'm going to change my ways. If my friends need to talk to me, like about anything. And I think the conversations are a lot harder than just I'm dealing with depression. The conversations are dealing with insecurities, vulnerability about their own sexuality. That is so
I
freaking
know.
huge. And it doesn't want to come up because they see you or they see their friends or they see their family talking shit about other people about like, oh, did you see so and so and blah blah, like your son is going through
I
this.
know.
Your son is
Care.
hurting.
I will never understand why other people care so much about what other people are doing. I will never get it personally.
Hmm.
Because even
Oh my god.
family, they talk so much stuff, especially about like transgender, vice versa. I just don't care. Why do you care?
Yeah.
If it's being forced in our schools, we can talk about that separately. But for
Mhm.
mental health purposes, like why talk bad about anybody based on their choices if they're on their own world doing it? I just don't
Yeah.
understand
And so like I just
that. What I'll
I
say
don't know.
is, I'm sorry, I'm mid
Oh,
throat. To add on to about men talking about their mental health, even as because I grew up in an area where like men don't talk about their feelings. That's not normal for men to be opening up. And there have been times, and I've had to work past it, where a man will be talking about his experiences and giving a moment of vulnerability, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that, no. And I'm like, that's a stigma that's kind of instilled in
hmm,
me growing up because men aren't supposed to be vulnerable like that. So I'm like, oh no. And I've had to work past that. Like, no, he's not less of a man. He's not just because he's being vulnerable and being open with me, that makes him stronger. He's showing another side that he would be otherwise hiding.
yeah.
And I feel like that vulnerability shows more strength than someone who's constantly just getting angry or drinking through their problems, which we could talk a little bit about too, because I'm sober.
I'm so
I don't drink alcohol anymore.
hmm. So
How long has it been? I honestly just like woke up one day and was like, nah, I'm not doing it. So I don't even know how long. It's been a long time, but I do smoke a lot of weed.
okay. Yeah, my on January 15th, so I think tomorrow will be my 6 year anniversary of no alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me. about your decision. Like, why did you choose to do that?
Okay, so okay, I feel like there was like a lot of different things. So essentially, what kind of now, like knowing this now, so my dad had passed away in January of 2017. And then I basically took that whole year of, obviously I'm angry, I'm grieving, I'm fucking depressed, whatever. All these things are happening, and I was trying to numb it by drinking a lot. And with that, then other thoughts were coming up of like, I want to be with him, essentially. So that is where those thoughts were
Oh my
at that point.
gosh.
And oh, hold on.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good. You're good. It needs to be talked
I
about. It
love that
needs to be
you're
talked about.
opening up to me about it. I really do.
Yeah. So, because I mean, I know other people fucking go through this. It might not be a parent. It might be a fucking. They lost a friend. They lost a partner or whatever. And I just want you to know that like, they don't want you to be with them if it's not your time. They want you to be here living life and everything. So then, come January of the following year, um I went to New Orleans for my birthday. It was like my 25th birthday, and I was like, I've never been to New Orleans. Like I wanted to do something fun for my 25th, blah 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 blah. And it was fun because I was in New Orleans and I was with people I love and stuff, but it wasn't fun with alcohol. So on the drive back, which was like 4 hours going back home, I just remember being like, I need to take a break. I don't think I want to do this and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just might be healthier if I just take a step back from drinking and going out. And then, like, oh, like a break turned into like a month and then so on and so forth. And I just remember being like, I'm not having these thoughts anymore. I'm saving money because I'm not being like, I'm buying shots for everybody or whatever. So like I'm saving money. I I'm able to just, if I am tired or whatever, I can go home. I don't have to wait for an Uber. I don't have to wait for other people to take me home or whatever. And
And then you
or
wake
like
up feeling great because you
yeah.
didn't put stuff in your system that makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, so like it was so it just I just kept going with it from there, and it honestly kind of made me focus on like, okay, you can't like hide, or you can't hide your feelings with alcohol anymore. You can't like push all this shit down. So what are we gonna do instead? And I remember that like one of my friends was really big into like crystals. And so I started kind of collecting crystals, and then I got into like the law of attraction and like the moon and the stars, and it was just like all these things that just felt so like, hi, we've been waiting for you, bitch, but
I
your
know.
mind has been so clouded that you haven't been able to like step into this energy, this fucking gift that you are blessed with. And so I just ran with it, dude, and I was so I didn't even start drinking like the non-alcoholic beers, I think, until like my 2 years. I started having like the non-alcoholic beer, non-alcoholic wine, and now this year, because this was my like my fifth year or whatever, I got into like non-alcoholic whiskey and non-alcoholic
Oh,
tequila. And it's so nice because like I can make the mocktails that I like without actually having to go back to who I was before.
yeah.
So,
And you're
yeah.
still hanging out and getting the vibe and doing what everybody else is doing, but not getting the side effects of what you don't want from alcohol.
Yeah.
So I really love
Yeah.
that. I had similar experiences. I was just tired of not remembering fun stuff that I did because I was drinking too much alcohol or having to find out what was happening from people the next day. Like I was, yeah, tired of that. I
Yeah.
was ready to not, and I woke up every day feeling like shit. And I was like, oh, why do I feel like shit? But then I would go out drinking, and it was,
Yeah.
I closed that part of me
Good.
down. Be like,
Yeah, it definitely does feel weird though, like having to like this right now is a safe space for me to discuss this or whatever. But like when we went to dancing or whatever after my birthday dinner or whatever, I have to go through the same conversations of like people being like, "Oh, I'm getting drinks, like what do you want?" And I have to be like, "I don't drink." And they're like, "Well, why not?" or something. And I'm
Oh,
like,
just one. It's
"Yeah,
okay. Like, no,
like no, like I'm gonna buy it." I'm like, it's not the
no.
cost or whatever. Like I know that we can take Ubers and whatever. I do not drink, and I have to like be serious about it by saying like I am 6 years sober. I'm not breaking it for a night out or whatever. And the people always want to know like, well, what happened? Did something happen? And blah blah. And the easiest thing I've told people is like, dude, I wasn't like nice to other people and I wasn't nice to myself. That's all we have to say. And because that did suck. Waking up in the morning and then being like, who did I piss off?
Yeah.
Like checking my text of like, what did I say? What did I do? Because I might have thought the joke was funny last night, but it was fucking hurtful to someone.
Yeah. And what's the enjoyment out of that? Like, really, what? I was just realizing that every time I was drinking, there was nothing really fun that I couldn't be doing that when I wasn't drinking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it was just fun. The fun. There's nothing fun about drinking specifically that I was enjoying. So it was hard to stop though. It was hard for me, unfortunately. But I got therapy, I worked through it, and now I don't drink. I will, like, for my friends' parties and birthdays and stuff, I do have the self control now where I will have like one or two.
Okay.
Like, I don't get drunk to the point of like bleh, like
Yeah.
good. But it was finding that balance. I definitely had a problem that I didn't know. It's
Okay. And
recognizing the problem that a lot of people struggle with, though,
because
because no
like
one wants to admit that they have a problem with alcohol, and alcohol is almost like cool, like it's something that fun people do. You know what I mean? And it's so normalized, but really, it's kind of dangerous.
yeah. I mean, we hear about people all the time with like drinking, driving, or whatever, getting alcohol poisoning and stuff, and or you get into a fight, and one fucking punch can take somebody out. Like, holy shit! Like, it's sad, and I don't know. I guess me and my friend Denny, we had talked about it before, and it's just, it's so glamorized from the very beginning and stuff. Like all the movies, all the TV shows about the keggers at the frat parties and stuff. And it's like, maybe we can like not, we maybe it could just be like, instead of making people have to go that ham for the story or whatever, like maybe we could just make it seem like it's, you can do this and be in control.
Yeah, yeah. And alcohol, even in movies, like it makes people do like risque stuff that maybe they wouldn't normally want to do. And it's like that alone, we should be realizing that we shouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not something that should be a goal. So, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about today on this platform while you had the chance that we didn't cover?
I don't know. I've been loving your questions and stuff, and I'm just here to like, I don't know, hopefully either entertain people or
I think you have an
maybe like,
awesome and beautiful message. I will suggest anyone watching to follow you, and because she has a great message. She's entertaining. What did I just say?
entertaining,
Painting,
and I love that.
painting.
It's like entertaining and tantalizing.
Oh, see, I just will combine words that I meant, and that's fine. But I want to thank you again, then, so much for coming on, and I will keep up with you on your Instagram because I want to see Germany and see all of your experiences. So thank you for always sharing what you're doing too. I love that. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I very much appreciate your love and support. Like, like either in our comments or whatever that we just like look like lovers, or
We are, so that's
or
fine.
just like, just sending like me like positive messages. Like that is so sweet, especially for people who haven't even met in person. I think that's just so loving, and I just wanted to tell you how grateful I am for that and for this opportunity. And yeah,
Yeah.
if anybody has questions about sobriety, about what brands to drink,
Anything
or
that we've had, you can comment here too, and we'll see. You should see the comments. I'll tag you in it. And then it will. You might not see the comments from people live. Unfortunately, I hate
okay.
that. I know that my lives do that, but I'll post it, and then when people rewatch it, their comments will show up, and you should be able to see them.
Okay. And then yeah, like if anybody ever has like questions about like about dealing with grief or whatever, or like having those thoughts of like you don't want to be here, please just reach out to me and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I
That is the
feel the
most
same way.
important
I'm just
thing.
like, I don't care if I don't know you, if you never talked to me, if you are thinking that, just message me because I will help you. We will do something. This
We
does
will
not,
figure, yeah,
the world is
we'll,
better with you in it, period.
yes, that is the message for today. The world is better with you in
Yeah.
it.
And people like not a permanent, like a permanent solution is not, that's not gonna help with anything. If anything, you're just passing on your issues to the next person. That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna deal with what we need to deal with and move
Mhm.
forward. That's what
Yeah.
I think that's my goal with this podcast has always been mental health. That's the basis. I just noticed that in the military community, it lacks. And that's why I like this platform to be able to do it. And the more people I talk to, I feel like I'm learning so much more from these people, and I feel like I am getting better at knowing questions to ask them. Like, I want to know these things about you, and that's how
Yeah.
I put this is like a blind date.
Oh.
This is like our date. Yeah, and everyone can just like watch our date, and what happened after you guys don't know. So thank you again
I love them.
so much.
No problem.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I love
Good
you.
luck getting settled in Germany too.
Thank you. I will keep you updated on that.
All right, girl. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was so good.